Okay, so this turbo build has been a ton of videos of just 2-minute, 3-minute, 4-minute sections throughout a month period. I had a lot of crap going on, and some weekends I didn't even work on it. Other weekends, tools broke, welder messed up. So I'm literally going to put this whole thing in chronological order as best as possible. But this whole video is the turbo build on this car. And obviously, as you can tell, we're not done at all. But this is like week 4. Yeah, this is week 4 on it. So we got a whole bunch of headway done. We're, so close to like starting it up. Besides like interior wiring, the battery, charge pipe. That's like it. The turbo lock is actually, Sage took that home to finish it up because we had tornado stuff last night. But so I'm making this intro about a minute long. We're going to keep it that way. This stuff is all in one giant video on what I did or what we did. Some of it I missed, some of it I skipped. Ask me a question in the comments. I'll let you know. We'll get it going from there. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoy it. We'll have some driving videos soon, so we got to dial everything else in first, but we're getting there. Ooh. Well, this is kind of sporadic, but we're turboing the green car. We got some pipe coming, V-bands, nice little ICT billet, return for the oil. So what today we're going to do is the hot side of the turbo. I didn't really plan on doing this yet, but Rashawn has kind of got me like looking at pricing, and it was like $450 for everything so far. Besides the cold side stuff, I'll have to the intercooler and the turbo, but like the cold pipe, the aluminum pipe stuff, I'm just gonna have the guy do that all for me because I don't weld aluminum. I barely weld metal as it is. So today, on the conclusion, if you're LS swapping your turbo and your LS swap Spirit, which there's probably like 5 of y'all in the world, I tried to do the whole truck manifold thing, flip them. Let me get some gloves on real quick because I have a newborn and I'm trying to stay clean today. Shout out to FedEx, not sponsored, but work gloves, baby. I get a pair once a month or 2 times a month. When I'm done with them, they become shop gloves. But all right, so here we are. Manifold, right? Obviously going up like this is how I wanted it. Well, it hits the back side because the flame is like this. It smacks the back side of the steering shaft. That one, the front side of it, smacks the bottom of it. So it didn't work out that way. We know that I need to grind this weld off, but we know that this 3-inch would fit on that, right? Or we know it fit this way. So my goal here is to remount it up after I cut up all this 3-inch crap. I'm going to get it right there, put it back in, and then we're going to get that V-band over there, some 2-inch V-band. Actually, first we're going to see if I can even fit a V-band down there, which it's not the fitting that's the problem. It's the, hold up, I got to put your big old cast iron thing in here. It's not the fact that it can have a V-band there. I want to make sure while I'm under the car, I can loosen that V-band, and it looks like I'm going to be able to. Because if I wasn't able to get to that V-band, what I would do is I would grab some of this pipe first, and we would weld the pipe, for example, and then put a V-band like where the bell housing is so we could get to it. But it looks like I'm going to be able to do that, so that's good. Also, like, shout out to these guys, JY Performance, for like oil coating the crap out of everything so it don't rust. But all right, off topic. Here we go. I'm gonna mount that. Let me cut the slag off real quick. All right. now that I got it all kind of ground up, I'm going to take yeah. I got two good birthday for Christmas presents this year. I got a kickstand from my brother and sister-in-law, and I got an electric ratchet. It's so much easier now. It's so freaking easy, thanks to my beautiful wife. So now I can just throw these back in here, or this one. As you can tell, I lopped up. I'm gonna clean all this other slag and stuff at Terry's. I don't have a grinder wheel. I just have a cutting wheel, which I'm actually done with cutting wheel. I need a new one, but it's Sunday. I'm not driving all the way to Letters. So what we're gonna do here is we're literally just going to put two bolts in, tighten her up, just to kind of get like where we're gonna be in the car, per se. And get her to thread on. That's always fun. Oh. Forgot how heavy these things are. They're meant to be heavy, boy. Alright. I remembered I notched the back one, so I'm just going to thread one over there real quick. The only one that's still kind of hard to get to is the one way freaking back here. I don't remember how I did it last time. I have to drill a hole in the firewall just to get to it. Alright, we got a couple threads on there. How to hold it up. Back in there. There we go. Smack it forward. Put one right here. I said let's put one right here. One thread. Attaboy. And then we'll do one more right here. Because I'm not tightening up that back one. It's a pain in the butt to get out. But this one will do. That'll do, pig. Oh my gosh. Come on. Just thread on there. Alright. So much easier. Now, I don't know if y'all can see down there, but it's points kind of towards the firewall itself. So when I put this one on, I'm going to have to angle this piece kind of like that in there. And then I'm going to try to tape it. I'm going to try. So let me get in the car and do that. Oh, I lost the flip-flop. It's okay, all is love and war, or whatever the saying goes. All is fair. I don't remember. Ow. Oh yeah, I'll be able to put a V-band on it for sure. So where it's at now, I'm going to want to cut okay. Yeah, so before I go to Terry's, or actually I need to go to Terry's for the cutting wheel, this goes perfectly good, right? Like it fits on there because it's a 2.5 inch exit. The issue is my dad, when we made it the 3-inch, we had the tube like this and then welded it in. I'm already dirty, dude. What the f? It's only been 5 minutes. Let me get it in. I'm off track. This piece needs to go in. Where it goes in flush now, it points into the firewall. So I'm gonna get a Sharpie. I'm gonna have to cut like a fin. That way when I lay it in, it kind of puts it in a degree. Just enough to get the angle, like it's right here right now on the camera. That's what it looks like. It's pointing towards the driver firewall. We just need to angle it just a wee bit this way. So it'll go straight down in between it. And I can get a V-band, or I get my hand under there for a V-band, which is sick. That means I don't have to have a giant long tube, and it's not a pain in the butt to put in the car. Because back in the day, I had to put it in the car from the bottom up, because I had that 12-inch extendo dildo on there. So I'm gonna mark this real quick, and then I'll have to go to Terry's so he can cut it, because I don't have a grinding wheel. And then we'll go from there. So I will come back to when that's done on the passenger or the driver's side. So we'll cut it here for now, and then yeah, that way it's not too long of a video. But yeah, that's what I'm. All right. So some time has passed, and after taking it out of the car 15 times, I've got it tack welded where I want it, and I will show y'all this. I was going to show you under the car, but I'm sick and tired of getting under the car already. Concrete's freezing cold. There's metal shavings everywhere. Not a fun time. Oh, there she goes. What I can show y'all is, first of all, I can take it out from the top, and let me see if I can get y'all on the camera. That's what we kind of have going on. Of course, we got some ugly welds and some cleaning up to do, but we'll do that with Terry and his stick welder. That'll fill up those gaps really well. And then I have to kind of clean up right here where I welded a little too close. I might actually end up just lopping this part off and then welding into it. But yeah, guys, so we got that all done. Yay. So I'm gonna cut it here, and then once Terry welds it all up, we'll come back and get her done. I can already hear the whistle now from China. Alrighty. It's kind of dark. We had dinner over there at the in-laws. I just got back from getting the manifolds, put some engine paint on it. But Terry went ahead and, actually, this is the second coat. Terry went ahead and welded that V-band on for me. So, now, I have a little fingerprint there. Oh well. Now, once that dries, in the morning time, I'll mount it back in, and we'll start our little connecting line or connecting pipe with all this stuff. And we'll go from there. So, I'm going to cut it there. And yeah. Alrighty, we're back. We got the manifold painted and welded down there. So now what I'm having to do is I'm gonna have to go down here. I've got 3 different joints. I got a 40, a 90, and a 180. I'm gonna see which one the best one is to cut for like the best curvature, I guess. I don't know if you can see down here, but here's the V-band right here. I need a light on this thing. All I'm gonna do is mount the other part of the V-band to it, and then we're just gonna start testing pipes and just putting them up there and to see which one goes with the best curvature. And then we'll cut that one and tack it onto that. And then I'll have to wait because my flex joint isn't here yet. So we'll have to wait on that to get here, and then I'll tack that flex joint, and then we'll go to the next side once the other manifold comes in. So, all right, so that turbo manifold, I lost it, that I bought. I chopped it up to a quadrillion pieces, and it did not work. God dang, did not work very well. So luckily my uncle had a spare 6.0 that's blown up, and I grabbed the driver manifold off of it. And I don't know if you can see down there, I made my own turbo log off of it with some pipe to a 3-inch. And We cut this massive hole out. The turbo sits right about here. I gotta cut right here for the blow-off valve exit. But Terry and I are gonna make a shroud for the wheel eventually, or rubber mat of some sort. But I can't weld it yet. I have the turbo over here. I have it all, like, this is the position that it need it to be, but I need to mark where I need to tack it on that. And this thing's like 50 pounds, so I gotta hold it up. I'll have to wait for Terry to get here. I'll hold it up and he can run a couple of tacks, and then we'll bust off the V-band of the turbo, and then we'll pull the whole manifold off, do that, get it all nice and done, and also tack the backside, finish the backside. Now that this came in, the flex joint, so I'll mount this to here, which is right under the bell housing, and then pretty much go from there. Honestly, we're about done on the hot side part. Also, the wiring harness is all done, which I think I'll have like what I did at the end of the video. I'm gonna have this all categorized. We're doing the hot side first though. So that's all good. But yeah, I couldn't get that turbo flange to fit. It was rubbing this shock tower, right here is where the bend is up. And I can't cut this out, obviously, so I couldn't fix it out, couldn't figure it out. So I lopped it all off trying to just use the runners, and that was a terrible idea. So just decided not to, just gave up on it. But this is working a lot better. And then there was someone with a turboed Gremlin that was gonna send me a photo of their driver's side, because they said they had the manifold running forward and how they cleared the steering column, but they never got back to me. So I gave up on that, and now we're doing it this way. Maybe they raised it up, the motor up some. Probably. Mine sits pretty low. I don't know. But yeah, so we got that all pretty much figured out. Used some wire to kind of hang the turbo, but I need to fully get it in the position it needs to be to tack it in. Oh, we got the manifold back from Terry. He helped me fill up these giant ugly gaps. I still got to sand it all down. I just used the MIG for a couple of pinholes from the slag. This manifold is going to be taken off like 9 times and sandblasted and stuff, get all slag out of the inside of it. But I need it here today to finish up the mock-up of the turbo part. And since we're still on the exhaust section, I need to finish, I literally have to tack 2 pieces of metal together. Then the connector part will be done. I'll show you all that connector side when I'm done and go from there. And then we just have to plumb the wastegate, which I'm probably going to plumb it like right here, honestly. Somewhere over here and then downward. It's probably where it's going to go, or it can go up here and outward this way, or this way where my hand is. But we'll figure that part out when we get to that road. Probably up here with a little nice bend out, and stick it out there too. But this part is about done. Exhaust side, wastegate will probably be done down here for now. I don't want to cut into this fender yet till I'm like happy and content with it, but it'll have to be like a nice little tight S, which I'll probably take it to Rashawn's buddy and have him do that. No teardrop or anything. I'm just gonna have it stick out here, call it good. But yeah, we're about done here. So let me get onto the car real quick with this place is a mess, but I don't want to touch anything until I'm done. So I have this piece right here, which is kind of a rough angle, but this angle, the way it sits on the passenger side, I got to see how much to cut off here to connect to the other side, which is somewhere over here maybe. I got to put it back on the car either way. Is it already on the car? Oh, it's already on the car. Never mind. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and combine these 2 pieces real quick and go from there. So let me tack that up real quick and show you the end result. You can kind of see what I got going on here. I got it all tacked into that flex joint, slipped onto this piece, and rounded all the way up to the top. So I tacked it a few pieces so I could drop it out and fully weld it. But my goodness gracious, brother. Sucker's nice. Sucker's real nice. That's a relief. I'm getting sick and tired of getting under this thing. The only thing I have to get under the car again for, besides mounting everything up, is that deadgum oil feed line, which we'll do that once the mufflers, not the muffler, but the hot side is welded up. And I went ahead and on this side, I still need to figure out where we're gonna put the daggum blow-off valve. We'll probably put it right here, I'm thinking. But we got the return line where it needed to be, clocked and everything right. So now I just gotta pull off the good old, yeah. Connecting pipe. God dang it. Oh, I can't wait to clean this garage. Gotta pull up the connecting pipe real quick, pull it out, and I'll tack it all up, and then we'll go from there. We got an update on the exhaust. Had my buddy Sage come over and make sure that my welds aren't leaking. So we did like 3 caterpillars on everything. So that sucker is good. I just painted it with enamel. Then we'll wrap it later on. On the intercooler, it's not much work we're gonna have to do. I kind of rigged up this little bracket made, some square tubing and some just flat steel. So I have like a little handle that's gonna go up. And I cut out these 2 pieces. Oh, yeah, let's put PB Blaster over the phone. Cut a couple of these pieces, and I'm gonna lay them right here in the back side. And the way that I have it angled and stuff, it pretty much sits flush right here. So my goal is to get it to hang right here. And the only thing, I may have to push back this intercooler a little bit, or not intercooler, radiator, which is fine. I'll just cut my welds out and push it back. And then right here, I'm gonna have to take a little notch out from this little area just for the tubing, and I have a nice little flush area. Not a big deal, and then I'll re-weld the pinch, call it good. But yeah, it's not too bad. Let me cut this up real quick, and then we'll go back to it. All right, so I had an ugly popcorn welded mocked up piece here, and I have that at 1.5 degrees of the actual, this part right here, and I got it just about 1.59, just about perfect, honestly, level wise. I had to obviously, I'm gonna cut all this excess off, but it's gonna all be painted black and everything. I'll be hiding behind the grill. But now I can mount the intercooler real quick, so I'm gonna do that, and then we'll see what it looks like. And yeah. Now that the radiator's done, the bottom part, I've come up with this contraption here. It's a piece of angle iron with that square tubing welded that I'm going to weld to my radiator mount right here, which will not only support the middle of the radiator to the top again, but it'll be one giant piece. You can tell I can get to a bolt there, and I'll be able to get to the bolts on the intercooler. And so all I have to do is put this on here and weld it down. So I went and got 2 longer bolts, and I needed to go up just another smidge, 1/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch. So I got longer bolts to go from here through here. It's not tight. I don't want it to fall. Don't fall. Please don't fall. It's gonna fall. Hold up. Let me. Ta-da! Like so. And I might do it without the lock washer. Just do a regular washer, because that lock washer really is taking a lot of it. But yeah, that's the gist of it. It's going to bolt to the bottom of that. I'll remount the intercooler, and then it was cockeyed just a little bit. I'm gonna push down just a little over here and tack a couple of beads on this part. And then once it's kind of beaded down, I'll see how it looks, and then go from there and do a full weld on it. So I'll probably put you on a time lapse for a little bit. We'll get this part all done, and we'll go from there. Booyah! I'm stoked, like to the max. Wind is attacking my buckets in the background. And just like that, we got ourselves a bracket made. It looks ugly right now, but it's going to be painted and finished tacked. You can tell right there I got to trim just a smidge off that. But with it mounted right there, check it out when we come into the car. barely even, like, it's about perfect. This needs to actually go in anyways on that side. So I'll get some channel, my little channel, whatchamacalls them. Snip that bow down, run a bead here. Then we'll unmount the intercooler part by taking these two bolts out. And then I'll run a bead up here, the corner. But yeah. And this looks off-centering a little bit. But this whole crash bar was pulled in from a toe strap back in the day. So yeah, that's that. But oh yeah, I'm excited. Just about perfect, literally just like perfect. Just gotta smudge that up a little bit. Let me get that done and get these pieces painted. And that should be done for the intercooler besides cutting these parts out. Which is just a little grinder here and a grinder there. But I mean, dude, I'm excited. I'm excited. Ooh, look at that thing. Ready for this? Like zero wiggle. That thing is in there solid. So, as you can tell, the welds aren't the greatest. Of course, grinding it down. I'm getting better though. But I painted it black and then the weld splatter ruined this one. So I'll have to take the bolts off the bottom, move the intercooler out later on. Not worried about it right now. Let me get on my roller here. But as you can tell, I ran a bead on the angle iron on the intercooler to the angle iron on the radiator mount. And then I drilled, I don't know if you can see, I drilled 4 holes. They're still kind of toasty right now. I'm letting them cool off. I'm gonna fill them up with welds even more, just to add some more structure to that besides it being one pivot point. And hence the part where I have all the slag spatter everywhere. Ugh. But dude, the thing is solid. As you can tell, I worked up a nice little thirst, but I got the feed line all the way down here mounted. Let me get under here one, hopefully last time. Mounted it there. I'm gonna put one more hanger right there. I gotta get one that fits that bolt just to kind of keep it from getting anywhere near that. Bam, bam, and then all the way over there to the feed line. Man, it really wasn't much of an issue. It was just like taking my time making sure it's not gonna rub anywhere. And I still think I'm gonna put something in between this, like a heat shield or something. Or maybe a piece of rubber hose in between it to keep pressure on it. But for the first installment of it, I think I did a pretty good job. So I was trying to cut right here because I had one right here on this one, but it was pushing up on the motor mount. I tried to cut it, this little corner piece off, and then my daggum homie over here blew up. So we are not doing that. But we got it done pretty much for now. Just want to make sure there's no slack anywhere it would rub, and then it's just a learning curve after that. But shoot, I think we're about there. And the turbo is going to be here, so the battery is going to have to be relocated. And while I was at it, I said, screw it. Let's get this harness out from out here, this ugly area. Because all these wires, there's only going to be like 3 wires over here. And then the rest will be inside the car, like the terminator and the inputs and all that. So that's what we're doing now. And as you can tell, there's a hole in the firewall. So before I had it routed through here, around these 2 holes, and that's terrible because if there's any moisture on the ground, it throws it into the cab. And I've already got to cut a rust hole out. I don't want even more rust, you know what I mean? So got that all pulled out. I'll have to tack and seal those back up. But what I did was in the dash, which mine is cracked already, I noticed that you could see through that. And so I drilled a circle, a 2.5 inch through there. And as you can tell, we can see on the other side. But what you don't notice is that, well, actually you can tell I sealed it up on both sides for one reason. And that is when you come up here, this channel is like a fresh air channel. Well, if it rains, guess where that water is going to end up going? That hole I made. So what I did was, you can tell in here, That's a 2.5-inch stainless steel exhaust pipe that I put in here and tacked in on each side and then goobed the crap out of so we can make sure that it was watertight. And maybe when that dries, I'll probably goop it some more. I'm not really caring. I don't care if it looks pretty. I want to make sure it's watertight. But I'll have a rubber grommet over all this as well on each side with the stuff in here to kind of help with fumes and stuff, because you don't want gas fumes inside the cab. It's no bueno. So we're gonna double grommet those, and then I'll probably, when I have it all the way sealed in and I have the harness where I want it, I'll put some caulking around that grommet cut where the harness is, just to kind of make sure there's no like terrible fumes coming into the car. All right, so I got some wire ran. Here's all my positive. Okay, here's the 12 volt to the starter. And of course you got your alternator one. I have it all down here nice and cleaned up away from the exhaust. It's even got some heat shielding. What I'm gonna do is, as soon as I pull this manifold off again for like the final welding, I'm gonna put another little grommet right here just to make sure it doesn't chafe here at any time. And then that'll be done. And then I'll have, I'm gonna wrap this part of the exhaust too anyways with heat wrap over there. Actually, Rashawn said he's got some black ones for me. I'll probably use that on the bottom of the connecting pipe. But we'll have this all wrapped up for the radiator hoses and such. And then once that bus bar shows up, I'm probably gonna mount it in here, this area. And I got a 12 volt, 0 gauge to run. I don't know if you can see it in there, but it's gonna run all the way to the trunk, hatch, and then starter wire, or starter 12 volt, alternator. And then the rest of these are like, one goes to the relays for the fuel pump and the radiator fan, which will be routed back that way, because I'm gonna relocate it to over here. And I don't know if I can bridge this wire with that wire. I may have to take all this loom out, because you can see it right there, and then I'll just trim what I need to trim. But these other two right here, these are inside the car. I'm going to cut them, put them together actually, and then this tiny one right here is that. Yeah, that's all of them right there. I was about to say, wait, what do I have more? But yeah, electric wise, it's looking pretty darn good. I put a grommet down there, and then I'm gonna seal I'm gonna also mount, I gotta get some 5/8 to mount it to the wall, nice and clean, away from chafing anywhere, and it's gonna route up here. This hole is gonna be plugged, this hole is gonna be plugged, and then I'm gonna recaulk all this just to make sure it's perfectly sealed, because I don't care if it looks ugly, as long as there's no water and air coming in, I'm happy. And then, yeah, that's about it, I think, for now. So, actually, I gotta see where this wire goes right here. This one goes to something inside the car that I need to really just, I think it goes to my gauge. I think it's my gauge cluster. But, yeah, so we're gonna get that. I'm gonna wait for these parts. It's Easter weekend, so I might not hit it anymore today, but that stuff's supposed to be in today, so hopefully it gets here soon. And then we'll get the mount and everything, and we'll go from there. Alright, so I ugly got the wastegate tubing welded in. It looks like crap, but I know it's sealed at least. I have a buddy that's coming over this weekend. He's actually going to help me clean it and make it look really pretty. He actually has good equipment and knows how to, I mean, that's not bad equipment, but he has a tank and everything, and he did it for schooling, so he knows a lot more than I do. So I'm gonna have him help me with that, and then I tacked up the V-band for the turbo dump, and then this is where we'll put the O2 sensor, and then so we'll get that all done, and then we'll put that done, and that'll be that'll be done for the exhaust for now, and then I'll route the better dump pipe and then the wastegate escape tube, I guess you would call it, and to get that all done. But we'll get that all done, and that'll be it on the motor part. I got the bus bar in the car now and ran the 12 volt to the back. Still got to do the interior stuff, but now I have the alternator right there, the starter wire, the wires for the rest of the inside of the car. That'll go in here and tell it what to do. I just got to route the fan relay over here and bring a wire over here because I don't want it over here anymore. And that'll be all the wiring part on the inside, outside of the car that needs to be plumbed differently. That'll be done. I'll have it done, and then we'll go ahead and hit to the back and make sure everything's good. We'll go from there. So, but I got all the electronic stuff knocked out here. So I have the fan relay and input, and it's just kind of tacked up for now until I order some loom. I got it mounted. Fans over here now. I got over here. I got all the bus bar done. The actual power from the battery mounted, so it's not rubbing anything. As of these, I've pretty much got hose or clamps like everywhere, but I want to make sure nothing rubs when I get ready to loom everything up. But that's all done, said and done. And then inside the car is our next issue. But we're doing this last because there's a lot of wires that I'm going to have to fiddle with just to make it look good. All right, so we got the manifold put in. Sage fixed up all my mistakes. The only issues we're gonna have is I'm gonna have to pull these out and tap them with like 45s up because I'm definitely gonna run heat. But that's about it really. There's no water in the car right now either, but it's good enough for startup. Yeah, we're gonna start it up and then back it out of the garage and clean it for sure. And then we'll go for the next stuff after that. Now I can finish the cold side because that's where the turbo is going to lay. And then I can either choose to clock that turbo straight down more, or I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but we'll figure that out. So I'm going to put you on the tripod, and then we'll start her up. See if we did it that time. First startup went great last night. The issues that we found, I might actually not even need to do a 45 here, because if I have the hose up and then way up here, it might be good on it. But we're not worried about that right now. We're worried about our shakedown. So shakedown is this 10AN. I don't think I got it tight enough, and it's hard to tighten in between those. So I ordered the T4 flange drain, but it's a solid piece of metal that goes down to here, and then I'm gonna put a 90 AN on here and be done with it. That'll be done there. That's just water. I didn't tighten this bottom one all the way, not a big deal there. Those two things, and then also I have a couple of drips of oil right here, and it's the NTP or MPT fitting. I did not Teflon it before I put it on the ICT billet thing, so I'm ordering all those pieces, and that's the first shakedown stuff. I'll get that all. I'll do that all off camera, but I think that's honestly a bit, really. Now I'm going to pipe the wastegate to the vacuum line, and we'll go from there.